Good morning. We're going to be discussing Islamic literary art from the Golden Age, 8th century to the 14th century. To start, let's discuss what the Islamic Golden Age is. The Islamic Golden Age was a period of cultural, economic, and scientific flourishing in the history of Islam, traditionally dated from 8th century to 14th century. This period is traditionally understood to have begun during the reign of Asad Caliph Harun al-Rashid, with the inauguration of the House of Wisdom in Baghdad, which you can see depicted here, where scholars from various parts of the world with different cultural backgrounds were mandated to gather and translate all of the world's classical knowledge into the Arabic language. On the left, we can see an image depicting scholars writing and translating knowledge from around the world. In the middle is a picture from the Ottoman era of women artists playing music to go with poetry. And on the right, we see an Arabic manuscript from the 13th century depicting Socrates in discussion with his pupils. During the Umayyad period, the Arab way of life began to shift from a nomadic mode of existence to a more settled and sophisticated urban style. In accordance with the Greek and Persian practices of the time, poetry was often accompanied by music performed by women. In time, the poetic form was simplified. The complex and highly refined meters of the traditional Arabian poetry were replaced by shorter and freer meters, which were adaptable to music. Poetry and music became inseparable. A sample of poetry composed by Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyya was a prominent Muslim jurist during the Islam's Golden Age, recited in modern day by Majari Rasad al-Afasi, which you can listen to here.
إذا مات الإله بصنع قوم أماتوه فما هذا الإله وهل.
There are several characteristics that distinguish the poetry from the Golden Era from modern-day poetry. One of these characteristics is that in the Golden Era, poetry gave more attention to the eloquence and the wording of the verse than to the poem as a whole. This resulted in poems characterized by strong vocabulary and short ideas, but with loosely connected verses. A second characteristic is the romantic or nostalgic prelude with which poems would often start. In these preludes, the dramatic unit called a nazib, the poet would remember his beloved in her deserted home and its ruins, because the poet would often start his poem by saying that he stood at the ruins of his beloved. In this image, we see a depiction of a male reciting a romantic poem to a group of women. The Islamic Golden Age may be recognized for its remarkable advancements in science and technology, but that doesn't mean those were the only fields that prospered during this time. Literature and the arts grew to a staggering heights as classical works arose and beautiful, innovative designs were produced. The Golden Age began to give Islamic art a category of its own, and as the Islamic Empire continued to grow, so did its creative side. Let's correlate it to modern day. Islamic poetry can be directly correlated to modern icons, especially in the West. Nowadays, characters like Aladdin, Sinbad the Sailor, and Ali Baba are recognized as cultural icons, and many spin-offs such as books and TV shows have developed as a result of their popularity, which were all based off of literary artworks from the Golden Era. The Islamic Age truly created some of the most remarkable artistic and literary pieces of the time. Without the contributions that were made, the creative world would certainly not be what it is today.